Hey guys, on today's video we're gonna go over how to catch a diamond feral koi here in Japan. The feral koi is in my opinion the most beautiful species of the 19 we can currently catch here in Japan. They have multiple different variations, multiple patterns, colors. They are simply a beautiful fish that is quite different to anything else. So first of all, before we start going over the locations, we're gonna start by talking about the tackle. You know, since these feral kois are bottom lurkers, it is possible to catch them using both a bottom setup and a float setup, and it's really gonna depend on how deep the spot you are fishing is in order to decide which of the two you wanna use. For example, I would say that if the spot you are fishing is more than 6 or 7 meters deep, then you wanna use a float setup, but if it is shallower than that, then you can perfectly use a float setup and all the kois are still gonna bite it. Now when it comes to the strength of the equipment, first of all I would suggest you to choose a rod with a maximum line strength of at least 5 kilos, a reel with a maximum drag of again 5 or 6 kilos, a 5 kilo line or similar, and a hook size number 5 with red worm when fishing on a float setup, or a hook size number 5 with artificial corn yellow when fishing on a bottom setup. The hook size number 5 will give you a chance to catch everything from silver to diamond, so I would definitely recommend you to start fishing with it, and eventually, after catching like 10 to 15 silvers, then switch over to a hook size number 4 in order to catch all the golds and the diamonds that may be in the area. So going over the first location I would recommend you to visit if your goal is to catch a diamond feral koi, this lake right here, especially the southern part of this lake, around these markers, may be the single best location to catch a diamond. I would suggest you to get here in the morning, around 6 AM, jump the water by tossing out some bread or pear barley towards the lake in order to start attracting the kois to your position, and as always, simply cast to a position where the chum landed using either a hook size number 5 with red worm on a float setup or a hook size number 5 with artificial corn yellow on a bottom setup. And whenever you feel like you are catching too many silvers, don't be afraid to switch over to something like a hook size number 3 in order to catch only the golds and better. You know, simply put emphasis on this part of the lake, and I'm very sure that at some point you'll catch some monsters. Oh my gosh, that one is huge! Is it as big as it looks? Yeah, no doubt, it is a diamond actually. I don't see any scenario where this guy is not a diamond with such a high tension. The only question is how heavy. And it is a diamond. Wow. Almost 9 kilos, that is a monster. Just look at that. I don't know what is the current record, but I think it was below 9 kilos. We caught him exactly right here, where I have this marker. You can't be serious! Another monster! Another monster, shortly after the last one. Is it a diamond? Yes! 8.22 kilos. What are the odds? 2 diamonds in a span of 5 minutes. What a catch, guys. I wonder if this location is even better than the first lake. So far it's been easily better. So now it's just a matter of seeing if it is actually consistent. Oh! You have to be kidding me. I didn't see it, but man, look at the size. A third diamond. 7.7 kilos, what in the world? I don't know if this is just a fluke or if this location is actually this crazy, because believe it or not, this is our third diamond in a span of 15 minutes. How crazy is that? Right here, guys. My new best location for the feral koi by far. Now the second location is another fantastic hotspot for the feral koi, which many people would say is the best one. Right here, around this part of the lake, where I have this marker. In my experience, this location is better in the morning, so make sure to choose a morning server, then arrive here using a boat and park it around here, chum the waters using bread or pear barley, and then cast towards the area where the chum landed using either a hook size number 5 with artificial corn yellow or a hook size number 4 with artificial corn yellow. The hook size number 5 will give you a chance to catch everything from silver to diamond, while the hook size number 4 is only for golds and diamonds. Personally, what I would recommend you is to start by using a hook size number 5, and after catching like 10 to 15 silvers, then switch over to a hook size number 3. And also another important thing, don't wait too long for a bite on a single place. Like if you haven't gotten a bite in like 3 minutes on a single spot, then you know it is time to cast on a different direction. Just don't forget to chum the waters wherever you cast. Okay. That's a big one. Heavy koi. Man, I'm not sure if heavy enough to be diamond, but I think it's gonna be close. And this is actually the first time I used the 5 kilo line to fish for this guy, so I have no reference to know how the tension on a diamond is gonna look, because on the last location we're using a 7.5 kilo line. Although I can definitely say this guy is way heavier than 5 kilos, so it is at least a gold. And hopefully diamond. Let's land it. 7 kilos on the dot, it is a gold. Nice one. Oh, that's some tension. Now we're talking. Safe to say it is significantly heavier than the 7 kilo gold. And if the 7 kilo gold was already quite close to diamond, then this one is probably diamond. And apparently it's real heavy. My biggest Harry weight of 8.9, so I wonder if this could be even heavier. Well, in fact, the current community record had a weight of exactly 8.99, so if this one is in fact heavier than our current personal best, it may have a chance to be even a record. I mean, it's unlikely, but definitely possible. So let's see. Time to land it. Is this our new biggest feral koi? It's a diamond, but it's quite far from our current personal best, 8.45 kilos. Still a monster. And the variation on this one, I think it is the best looking variation I've gotten so far on a diamond. Like the pattern is very nice on this one, multiple colors, and overall it looks beautiful. Now, if for any reason you couldn't catch a diamond on the first two locations, another place I would recommend you to visit is this pond right here. This one. For me, this pond is not nearly as consistent as the first two hotspots, but it's also a location that produces a lot of diamonds. Fishing here is very simple. First of all, I would suggest you to get to this location around 6 AM, stand around here, jump the waters using braid, preferably, and then what I would suggest you is to cast using a hook size number 5 with redworm. You know, this spot is honestly not as consistent as the other two in the sense that it doesn't produce as many silvers and as many golds, so you gotta be more patient. And whenever you are not getting bites on a certain spot, simply try casting towards a different spot within the same lake. Just don't forget to also jump the water. Nice tension. This one is big. Holy. I gotta say, my experience on this location is not nearly as good as on the first two locations, because I mean the first two locations are simply crazy, but I would still say this is above average. It is definitely way better than the majority of the hotspots. Is this our first diamond feral koi on this location? Nope, 6.2 kilo gold. At least it is nice to finally catch something bigger than a silver. Oh, is this one heavier? Man, that is a giant feral koi. I assume it is a feral koi. Yeah, of course it is. How heavy is it? Is it a diamond? And again, it is only gold, 6.18 kilos. I could swear it was heavier, but it's actually slightly smaller than the last one. Fully. Now I really think this one is actually heavier. Very promising tension. Should be really big. I don't think it's big enough to be diamond, but it should be close. Oh, it made it! It is a diamond! 7.89 kilos. That is a surprise. That is a real surprise. I didn't think he was gonna make it. And the variation on this one is very nice. I honestly wanna continue trying to catch more diamonds just to see what other variations we can get. Now, in addition to the 3 locations I shown you in this video, there are many other hotspots where it's also possible to catch a diamond feral koi. And every single of these known locations will be available on the official theAngler Discord inside the resource hub, inside the Kamubetsu Reserve help sheet.